Level 0. Silent world. No sirens, no daily briefings, no anxious scrolling through headlines. This is the baseline. A calm so quiet you'd never suspect what's constantly brewing under the surface. You walk through a bustling street market. Vendors yell prices, strangers brush shoulders, someone sneezes, no one flinches. You grab a coffee, pull open a public door, pat your friend on the back. You're immersed in human contact, casual, unconscious, unfiltered. Every surface around you is a battleground, invisibly crawling with microbial life. Door handles, elevator buttons, ATM screens, but your immune system is relentless, an unsung guardian working 24/7. White blood cells patrol every inch of your bloodstream, mucus in your nose traps intruders, enzymes in your tears dissolve bacterial walls. You don't feel a thing. This is level 0, equilibrium. Pathogens exist, mutations happen, but the balance hasn't tipped. Your body handles invaders like it always has, swiftly, silently, ruthlessly. The viruses you inhale at the grocery store, neutralized before they reach a cell. That strain of E. coli on the salad bar, dissolved in stomach acid. The danger is present, but so is resistance. Every human is a fortress with automatic defenses, generations of immune memory passed down from plagues, pandemics, and centuries of survival. At this level, the virus may exist in labs, or animals, or some distant village, but it's not here, not yet. And even if it did arrive, it might just bounce off. No symptoms, no impact, nothing to record. We call it normal life, but it's a temporary ceasefire, not a guarantee. Level 1, whisper of a cold. You sniffle, nothing serious, could be the air conditioning, could be dust. You take a multivitamin, sip tea, carry on. This is the whisper, the faintest ripple in the pond. A virus has jumped hosts and found a few human cells to hijack. But it's clumsy. It struggles to spread. Maybe it's a seasonal cold virus, or a lazy cousin of influenza, or a stomach bug that burns out quickly. You might hear about it through a colleague. Hey, did you hear Tanya's out sick? But that's it. No alarm bells, no testing lines. Doctors might notice a slightly higher uptick in visits for minor symptoms. A few clinics log it. Public health dashboards mark a slight elevation. Nothing dramatic. Maybe the virus causes fatigue, mild fever, maybe a light cough, but it doesn't get momentum. Infections remain scattered, a handful per city. Most never see a doctor. Most recover in a few days with over-the-counter meds and rest. The few hospitalizations are rare and often tied to underlying conditions. People still shake hands. Hugs are still offered. Life hums on. This is the level of possibility. The virus is trying to become relevant, but it's still mostly noise, a whisper among giants. Level 2, local outbreak. Then, something clicks, a genetic shift, a tweak in a protein. Suddenly, the virus isn't tripping over itself anymore. It's targeting cells with precision, replicating faster, escaping immune defenses. Now, you hear about a cluster of kids out sick at a daycare. A local elementary school closes for deep cleaning. A workplace sends people home early. Not everyone's sick, but enough are to raise eyebrows. Epidemiologists begin noticing patterns. The virus doesn't just cause isolated cases anymore, it's forming chains. Someone at the grocery store coughs, 2 more get it. A dinner party ends with half the guests in bed. Maps light up with dots, tightly grouped at first. A neighborhood, a school district, a bus route, but they're connected. This is level 2, the outbreak phase. Still local, but alarming. Health agencies begin to respond. Public health officers interview patients, trace contacts, build webs of exposure. Where did you go? Who did you meet? When did symptoms start? Answers begin to overlap. A coffee shop, a wedding, an office conference. Suddenly, the infection isn't random. It's directional. Hospitals remain functional, but start to prepare. Supplies are ordered. Isolation wards are cleaned and stocked. Labs get tasked with genomic sequencing. Press releases start to emerge. The general public starts to notice. Grocery stores post signs about hand washing. You see sanitizer dispensers again. Local news channels run health segments. You might even dig out that box of surgical masks from the back of a drawer. But this level is deceptive. It's still manageable until it isn't. Level 3, community transmission. You're coughing, feverish, but you haven't traveled. You haven't met anyone sick. And you're not alone. Now the virus spreads like gossip, impossible to trace, present in the air, lingering on surfaces, traveling through routines. This is level 3. Community transmission. Containment is over. The numbers spike, not just in hospitals, but in homes, in schools, in workplaces, and no one can answer the most basic question: where did you get it? Testing centers fill up. Drive-through swab lines wrap around the block. Positive results come in waves. Suddenly, the infection is part of everyday life, like traffic or weather. You go to the grocery store and notice missing shelves. Not panic buying, not yet, but nervous adjustments. Lysol's gone. Thermometers are sold out. Cough drops are low. Malls thin. Offices announce hybrid work models. That long-awaited wedding? Postponed. Your kid's field trip? Cancelled. Again. Some wear masks. Others mock them. Tensions simmer. Healthcare workers begin seeing the climb. Not exponential yet, but steady. One ward fills. Then two. ERs start turning away the non-urgent. The numbers still seem low compared to population, but R0 is what matters now. How many people does each person infect? If the answer is 2 or 3, the math becomes terrifying fast. The virus isn't just local anymore. It's in the air you breathe, in the hands you shake, in the elevator button you pressed. The city's open, technically, but you start choosing silence over concerts, home cooking over restaurants, distance over closeness. You don't wait for lockdowns, you self-isolate because you've seen what happens next. Level 4, regional spread. And now it hits, not just your town, but your entire region. Level 4 isn't about individual choices anymore. It's about systemic stress. You wake up to headlines like hospitals reaching capacity or governor declares public health emergency. Entire states or provinces implement health directives. Mask mandates return. Social distancing isn't a request, it's a rule. Gyms close, events get cancelled, religious services go online, borders within countries tighten, travel becomes a logistical puzzle, hospitals begin triage protocols, surgeries are delayed, cancer screenings postponed, blood donations drop, healthcare staff burn out, some quit. Grocery stores limit purchase quantities, meat processing plants close due to outbreaks, schools revert to Zoom, parents scramble to adapt. Mental health takes a sharp hit. It's not full lockdown, not yet, but the gears of life grind, traffic thins, airplanes fly half empty, tourists vanish, small businesses teeter on the edge. You see footage of overwhelmed ERs, news segments profile nurses sleeping in their cars. Social media fills with plea after plea. Take it seriously, stay home. The virus isn't new anymore. It's everywhere. And it's changing behavior, systems, economies. It forces a question: how much risk are you willing to tolerate? You stop shaking hands. You hold your breath in elevators. You measure time in quarantine periods. Society bends. Some cracks show. Level 5, national emergency. And then the order hits your phone. Stay indoors. Lockdown in effect. This is level 5, the shift from chaos to controlled suppression, from localized responses to national emergencies. The virus has overrun all soft defenses. Regional strategies have failed. Entire countries grind to a halt. Governments implement wartime measures. Military trucks deliver supplies. Empty streets become eerie symbols of collective restraint. You're allowed outside once a day, maybe for groceries, maybe for a walk. Parks close. Police enforce distancing rules. Apartment windows become the new balconies of resilience. Neighbors sing, clap, shout into the void for connection. Hospitals overflow. Medical tents rise in parking lots. Sports arenas convert into triage centers. Doctors work in shifts so long their faces bruise from masks. Nurses reuse PPE. Volunteers distribute oxygen tanks. Every hour brings new losses. Not names, but numbers. 1,000 here, 5,000 there. Headlines blur. Your country is now a case study. Governments scramble. Rent relief, unemployment insurance, emergency stimulus. Economies enter coma mode. You feel it everywhere. Packages delayed, appointments cancelled, routines collapsed. Weddings become FaceTime calls. Newborns meet grandparents through windows. Grief becomes private. No hugs, no crowds, just live streams and tears. Meanwhile, misinformation spreads faster than the virus. Conspiracy theories flourish. Some protest the restrictions, others demand even stricter ones. A few vanish from society altogether. The infection isn't just medical, it's cultural, economic, emotional. A national emergency doesn't end with a vaccine. It ends with rebuilding, trust, systems, hope. And as you sit on your couch, refreshing the case tracker, you wonder, what level comes next? Level 6, citywide collapse. Hospitals stop answering the phones. At level 6, the system isn't overwhelmed anymore. It's obliterated. Ambulances don't come, nurses don't go home. Entire hospital wings are sealed, not because of patients, but because every staff member is sick, or dead, or gone. Cities fall into a medical blackout. Triage no longer means prioritizing. It means choosing who won't get care. Oxygen runs out. Morphine runs out. Gloves run out. The cafeteria shuts down. The morgue fills up. Outside, it's no better. Major cities now operate like ghost towns. Streets are quiet, but not because people are sleeping in. They're avoiding everything. Paranoia settles into the cracks. Neighbors don't make eye contact anymore. Deliveries stop arriving. Garbage piles up. Sirens come less often because there's no one left to drive them. Temporary shelters spring up in high schools and stadiums, not for the sick, but for the people fleeing infected apartment blocks, or mourning family members, or just looking for somewhere with electricity. Law enforcement pulls back. Too many officers are sick, too many in quarantine. Curfews are ignored, some stores are looted, others are simply abandoned, their doors flapping in the wind like the opening scene of a dystopian movie. Not everywhere is chaos, but stability now costs something. It costs health, it costs favors, it costs trust in government messaging that's starting to sound increasingly desperate. You hear of clean zones, districts that claim to have kept the infection out, armed guards, travel passes, digital health certificates. You wonder if they're real or just stories. Because here in your city, the lights are flickering and you haven't seen your neighbor in 4 days. Level 7, border lock. Now the infection isn't just a national emergency, it's a threat to geopolitics. At level 7, borders slam shut, not metaphorically, literally. Airports close, flights cancelled, seaports sealed, rail lines cut, trade stops, tourists stranded, refugees blocked. Everyone looks inward. Trust is gone. You can't visit your cousin in the next country. You can't even drive to the next state without military permission, not unless you're essential, and even then, only if you're cleared, blood tested, temperature scanned, QR coded. Nations hold emergency meetings, but not to collaborate, to defend. Some countries take a hard line, martial law, surveillance drones, mandatory quarantine camps. Others break under the pressure. Leadership collapses, military steps in, or civil unrest boils over. News gets weird. Some channels go off air. Others contradict each other. One government says the death toll is low, then leaked footage shows mass graves. You don't know what to believe anymore. Diplomatic relations fracture. Accusations fly. You created it. You failed to warn us. You used it as a weapon. Economic collapse follows. Global supply chains disintegrate. Countries hoard food, fuel, medicine. Exports cease. Imports vanish. Entire industries dissolve overnight. In your own country, nationalism spikes. Border patrol triples. Foreigners get blamed. Embassies evacuate. Airports resemble war zones. Checkpoints, soldiers, automated turrets scanning for heat signatures. Inside cities, neighborhoods fracture too. People create local, safe bubbles. They seal off streets, create makeshift barricades. Only known faces allowed in. You used to think of the world as connected. Now, Earth is a mosaic of quarantines, and every square wants to survive, alone. Level 8, global meltdown. It's official now, a pandemic beyond control. Every continent is infected. Every major city has reported mass fatalities. And worse, every country is on its own. Level 8 isn't just about death, it's about disconnection. You wake up to a silent internet. Major platforms have gone dark, not from censorship, but because there's no one left to maintain the servers. Engineers are sick, power grids unstable, satellites off course. Wi-Fi becomes a memory. The cloud, ironically, has vanished. The last live news broadcast aired 3 days ago. Since then, it's been static. Local radio takes over, amateur signals, emergency frequencies, pirate broadcasters, reading updates from hand-scrawled notes and field reports. Governments fracture, many disappear completely, others go underground, ruling via pre-recorded video bulletins and ration drop schedules. No mail, no phones, no GPS. Travel isn't banned anymore. It's impossible. Roads are blocked, planes grounded, ports filled with rotting cargo. You see passenger liners drifting off coasts, their crews still inside, infected, forbidden to dock anywhere. Militaries try to hold key positions, power plants, food reserves, vaccine labs, but loyalty breaks down. Soldiers desert, some join local communities, others take over. Society atomizes. Everything feels old now. Paper money, analog radios, letters pinned to doors. People form pods, families, compounds, farmsteads, survival groups. You join one. Electricity becomes a luxury. Medicine is currency. Guns are everywhere. Old friends become rivals. You hide your symptoms. Religion spikes. Cults spread. 1,000 new prophets emerge. You no longer live day to day. You live hour to hour, waiting for either the fever or the knock at your gate. Level 9. Species Crisis. Level 9 is not just a pandemic, it's an evolutionary test. Humanity now fights not to win, but to exist. The infection has mutated. Maybe it's faster, maybe it evades antibodies, maybe it's developed latency. Silent carriers who feel fine, but shed deadly particles with every breath. Whatever the case, the survivors dwindle. Not millions, not hundreds of millions, billions gone. Entire continents now dark. Satellite images show only small clusters of light, mostly inland or near hydroelectric dams. Coastlines are lifeless. Megacities are graveyards. No planes, no signals, just silence. No more governments, only enclaves. Most are self-sufficient. Farms, wells, radios. Some are peaceful, others aren't. Humanity loses cohesion. You can't trust strangers anymore. The default assumption is danger, infection, or violence. You've gone months without seeing a child. Maybe the infection caused infertility. Maybe it's just that the survivors are too afraid to start families. Who wants to bring life into a world like this? Books are precious now. Maps, seeds, medicine, manuals. USB sticks with downloaded Wikipedia pages and anatomy diagrams. You wear full protection outside. Handmade suits, masks woven from surgical gauze and duct tape. Filters salvaged from vacuum cleaners. Every breath is a negotiation with fate. Some say there's a haven, a self-contained arcology sealed before the collapse. Others claim there's a satellite uplink still active, storing civilization's last encrypted memory. But you've never seen it, only heard stories. And now, every morning, you check your pulse, your temperature, the mirror. Because extinction doesn't arrive with fanfare, it arrives quietly. In lungs, in cells, in loneliness. Level 10. Biological reset. There's no more infection, but not because we cured it, because it ran out of hosts. Level 10 is the final stage, not of the disease, but of us. Maybe a handful survived, immune by genetic accident, hidden, hardened. Maybe they built something, maybe they're still trying. But the infection now is over, not because it was beaten, but because it won. You walk through a field of overgrowth. Nature has begun reclaiming the bones of the old world. Shopping malls overrun with vines, airports silent under drifting sand, cities cracked and mossy. Wildlife returns. Wolves prowl downtown streets. Birds nest in skyscrapers. Trees split sidewalks like frozen lightning. The air is clean again. The sky no longer crisscrossed with contrails. Rivers run clear. The ozone layer thickens. You see no lights at night, except the stars. You hear no engines, just wind and insects. Somewhere, a library still stands, pages turning in the breeze. Maybe the disease still sleeps in soil, in spores, in a frozen host beneath the tundra. Maybe it will rise again. Maybe not. But for now, silence. And the great biological wheel turns, one notch forward. Thanks for watching. Hope you like our video. Don't forget to share and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for what's coming next.